Hi, and welcome to the Fast Rocket 21-day intermittent fasting reset. If you're sick and tired of carrying that extra weight around, whether it's 20 pounds or 40 pounds or 60 pounds, I can relate. I was about 90 pounds myself overweight at one particular point in time. I'm right there with you. I understand. I lost over 70 pounds, totally reversed my type 2 diabetes, kept the weight off for over 3 years, and basically have become an intermittent fasting coach. The only thing that I would have done differently is search out someone like myself as a coach so that the process of understanding the whole experience could be condensed into a few weeks rather than a few years, as was the case in my situation. And that's exactly why I created the 21-day reset program, so that you could learn and assimilate as quickly as possible all the metabolic information that's necessary to achieve your weight and health goals. This particular video is day one from the course. You get 21 videos. It's a 21-day video course. And this is day one. They're very simple, easy terms, easy language. Anybody can understand it. And you can dip your big toe into the Fast Rocket program at no cost to you. That's what this little video is about. So I'd appreciate it if you'd give it a like, subscribe, and hit that bell so you'll be reminded every time we post some content. And enjoy day number one of the Fast Rocket 21-day reset. Hey, and congratulations. This is exactly where you need to be today, my darlings. Right here, right now. It's day one. I know. I am excited for you too. It's exciting for me. I'm delighted to have you here, anxious to share with you what I have learned over the past 5 years about intermittent fasting, time-restricted feeding. It's been the driving force in my life, literally, losing 70 pounds and reversing my diabetes and insulin resistance. Look, anyone can fast. We do it every day, right? It begins when you stop consuming calories in the evening, either food or drink, and it continues through your sleep at night. Fasting even continues once you awaken in the morning and until you consume more calories. Traditionally, when you have those calories in the morning, it's called breakfast, right? Or break fast, right? That's what's happening as you break your fast over your night of sleeping. This is where I'm obligated to remind you there is no law that requires you to break the fast the first thing in the morning when you wake up. All right? That simply is a behavioral pattern that can be amended, modified, and otherwise unlearned. That is my hope on this day one, to impress upon you that the simplest way to get started with intermittent fasting or time-restricted feeding is to extend your already existing fasting window when you sleep. Baby steps. Extend it by 30 minutes, an hour, 2 hours perhaps, whatever your comfort level dictates. All right. Over the next 21 days, you're going to receive a video from me, an email with a video in it describing the day's topic. We're going to have this little contact between you and I, right? These emails will share the tips and methods I discovered to be successful for me in my journey and quest to escape obesity. Sounds like a Michael Caine movie, doesn't it? Escape from obesity. Yeah, that's what we're going to do. That's what I did. And you can do it too if you want. And you may not even be obese. I was. I struggled for nearly 5 years learning this process on my own. And I decided that, man, it would be great if I had had me knowing what I know now back then when I started. It would have saved me a lot of time. I could have learned this in 21 days, or the fundamentals. Your body's going to have some ups and downs, how it processes this metabolic information, but it can learn it very quickly. 74% of the United States overweight. Easy. 40% of those people are obese. And I believe I have learned a situation and a solution to moderate some of those problems. At least they were successful for me. In this first week of the program, I'm not even going to discuss food with you or what we're going to eat. We'll have plenty of time for that in weeks 2 and 3. But this week, we're just going to focus on getting your body used to a different time frame within which you take in food or energy or calories. The main goal of this 21-day reset is to get you to a consistent minimum 16-8 protocol of intermittent fasting. And as I said, we'll do it in baby steps. So what I want you to do today, this morning, is decide tonight what time you're going to stop feeding. And we call eating feeding and feeding eating, okay? I refer to them as a feeding window and a fasting window. So decide, let's simply start this first day with a 12-hour fasting window. So for example, you're going to stop eating at 7 p.m. tonight. It could be 6 p.m. or 8 p.m. Could even be 9 p.m. Doesn't really matter. You decide. And then you're going to refrain from any other calories until that time, 12 hours later, tomorrow morning. And you're going to do this for this many days. Okay? So I want you to be able to be consistent with that behavior. We're going to train your body to expect, to have new expectations about when food and energy is coming. Do this for 2 days. So your body gets the hang of it. On day 3, we'll expand that window a tiny little bit. Now, if you've had some experience fasting and you think you'd be more comfortable with 13 hours or 14 hours starting out, that's fine too. All right. Of course, you can have water, tea, or coffee, no sweetener during your fasting window. Here we go. Day number 1, lower your expectation. The idea here is to learn this process. If you should lose weight in this 21-day period, that is a bonus. I promise if you get to a consistent 16-8 and eat the proper foods, you will lose weight. The point of this 21 days is to learn how to do this properly so that you become a partner with your metabolism as opposed to an enemy. Remember how when you used to use a diet and your body was fighting you, you'd jump in a low-calorie diet or a low-fat diet or whatever, and your body was just screaming at you and making you feel like hell, right? That's adversarial. We don't want to be an adversary or have an adversarial relationship with our metabolism. We want to have a nice working relationship. But as I said, if you get to a 16-8 and you can do that every day of your life, and that doesn't mean you have to do that. You can do more. You can do much more if you want. But if we can just get there as a baseline and you eat the proper foods, you will lose all the weight you can possibly imagine. What I want you to do today is take a full-length selfie in the mirror, front on and a side view. You don't ever have to show it to me or anyone, but who knows, maybe you'll want to show it to somebody to inspire somebody else. Start your first fast tonight. Beginners 12 hours, intermediate 13 to 14. Determine a time tonight that you will stop any and all calories. Again, water and tea recommended during the fasting period. If you start your fast at 8 p.m., do not resume any calories until 8 p.m. tomorrow morning. And it doesn't have to be right on the dot, okay? And you get to pick the time. And you will do this for 2 days. Last thing, send me an email and advise me of what length fast you've decided to do for the next 2 days. You don't have to elaborate. Just contact me with that information. And not only will you be accountable to yourself, but you'll be accountable to me as well. Also, there is a link in this email for calculator.net, the BMR calculator. I want you to go to that link and calculate your BMR, because we're going to talk about that on day 2 tomorrow. Best of luck. Send me your email. Let me know what you've decided to do. I can't wait to be a part of this journey with you. Hey, and thank you again for watching this freebie here. I appreciate it. You have 2 options. Number one, I'll put in the description below a link where you can jump into the 21-day reset program if you'd like. And if you would prefer to go a little slower and like to register for the next webinar, we have one a week. I'll put a link down as well where you can go and register for that. If you have an interest in intermittent fasting or losing weight or health benefits, I'd appreciate it if you'd give us a subscribe, hit the red subscribe button, and hit that bell so you're notified every time we post new content. Thank you so much for your interest in Fast Rocket.